The upcoming Supergirl movie is the first film in the DCU that directly adapts a comic book storyline, and with the film less than a month away, I wanted to take a look at my top 5 moments from the book that I hope make it into the film. Number 1, the Karpane dragon and the red Kryptonite pill. So early on in the book, Kara and Ruthie are beginning out on their journey. They're boarding this alien vessel, trying to make their way across the galaxy, but in their path stands a Karpane dragon, which is like a cosmic space dragon that's infamous for eating metal. And because Kara just left a planet with a red sun, she doesn't have all her powers back. So to compensate, she surveys the passengers on the ship. What's interesting about this book is it reveals that red kryptonite has been used as kind of like a hallucinogen for non-Kryptonians, and I guess also anxiety medicine. But for Kryptonians, when they're exposed to red kryptonite, the hallucinations that they experience become real. And she's able to find a passenger who happens to have a red kryptonite pill, which they claim is legally prescribed for their anxiety, but hey, I'm not judging. When Kara takes the red kryptonite, she gains these flaming wings and is able to take down the dragon. If we get to see Millie Alcock's Supergirl take down a space dragon with a full Phoenix Force-esque transformation, this movie is definitely going to be one for the books. But not only is this moment filled with aura, it does a couple other interesting things. One, it does a lot of world building for the DCU. We kind of get to see how the death of Krypton has affected other planets aside from Earth, like with the red kryptonite pill. And it kind of makes the world feel a little bit less exclusive to Earth, which I really like. And 2, we kind of get to see how Kara and Clark will handle things differently. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think that the big blue Boy Scout we met last summer is in a rush to take a hallucinogen. Kara, on the other hand. Number 2, I hope we get some of Ruthie's perspective. When I first picked this book up, I was kind of surprised by its structure. Now, narration is a common tool in comic books, but this book does it a little bit different. The entire story is Ruthie recounting her experiences with the Girl of Steel. This choice adds a poetic flair to the story and lets us see and know Kara from a third-person point of view, allowing us to witness the impact she has on those around her. Although I don't think the entire story is going to be from Ruthie's perspective, I do hope that they lean into this third-party viewpoint a little bit. And we kind of get a glimpse of this in the trailer when we see the camera hold on Ruthie underneath a table while Kara's causing havoc in the bar. Number 3, the Mordru globe. Now this one, it has to be in the movie. It's such a central part of the story in my opinion. I mean, it's a big plot device for sure. The Mordru globe is this rare magical orb that essentially lets you teleport your adversary to the other side of the universe. Now the reason these orbs are so rare is because in order for them to manifest, hold on, let me make sure I get this right, you need the dedication and desecration of thousands of bodies slain with no other purpose in mind. Damn. In this story, it's used by Krem, the main antagonist, on Kara and Ruthie to teleport them across the universe to a planet Baron? On Kara and Ruthie to teleport them to Benetron, to teleport Kara and Ruthie across the universe to Barenton, which is this planet that has been made to essentially capture and kill Clark, Superman, Kal-El. And how might that happen? Well, there's a green sun, a Kryptonite sun. Which there's a bunch of different color suns in this book, which is pretty awesome. But not only that, it's also filled with alien dinosaurs. As you can imagine, the sun weakens Kara similar to how Kryptonite weakens super people. But once the sun's set, a sliver of Kara's powers come rushing back and the two are able to escape off-world. Not only would the inclusion of the Mordru globe be awesome, but it would also give us a taste of magic in the DCU before we get it from a character like Dr. Fate or Zatanna. Hopefully, please James Gunn, give us Zatanna. But the interesting thing about the Mordru globe is that it's used more than once in this story. And the way Kara escapes it the second time is pretty f***ing cool. Which leads me to number 4. Now we know Krypto's gonna be in the movie, like he's in all the trailers and he kind of sets the whole story in motion if we're being honest. But there's another super pet that I really hope makes it into the movie, which is Comet the Super Horse. Now when they face off again, Krem tells Kara that no man or woman can escape a Mordru globe. So this time Kara comes prepared with her trusty steed Comet. Now what happens after this is so cool and I think would be so visually stunning to see in a theater that I really hope it's in the movie. Before the globe has a chance to ensnare Kara, she mounts Comet and rides him to presumably the end of of the universe. She finds herself in this black and white void where apparently the rules of magic don't work anymore, and therefore neither does the globe. The visuals in this book are phenomenal, and if this moment's adapted, I can only imagine what that would feel like watching it in a theater. I want to see this movie so bad. Number 5, Maypole. Now, Maypole is a town home to these blue aliens. Pretty unassuming at first, but they hold a sinister truth. See, not too long before Kara made it to Maypole, Krem was there, but he was arrested for drunken misconduct. Around the same time, the Maypole people were visited by the Brigands, which is another antagonist of the film. They're basically these genocidal maniacs that go from planet to planet killing for sport. But the Brigands offered the blue people of Maypole a deal. If they were able to pay a lump sum of money, the Brigands would peacefully leave and just go on to the next planet. But unfortunately, Maypole didn't have that money. But Krem was aware of their situation, and here's where the sinister truth comes into play. See, Maypole was once home to two people, the Blues and the Purples. The Blues were the wealthier majority and viewed the Purples as lesser, inferior beings, so they segregated them to the outskirts of Maypole in a place labeled Purple Town. Krem was aware of the Purples and also aware of the Brigands. Krem proposed an idea to the Blues, which was pay what they can to the Brigands, and what they can't compensate for, just allow them to slaughter the Purples. Now, we know the Brigands are going to be in the movie because they're mentioned in a couple trailers and TV spots and stuff, but we don't really know if the Blues are going to make it. I mean, it could be these people, but we'll honestly just have to wait and find out. When I think back on this comic, this part of the story is the first thing that comes to mind. The story of Maypole, the Blues, and the Purples takes place on an alien planet, but still feels very real. Issue 1 of Woman of Tomorrow was published in 2021, like 5 years ago, but still feels very relevant. If this conflict does get adapted into the movie, it'll provide an interesting parallel to Jarhanpur and Baravia. Although not identical, the two conflicts do have some similarities and will provide another opportunity to see the differences between how Kara handles things and how Clark handles things. In the trailer, Kara has what's in my mind an already iconic line, which is,
"He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth."
This book is all about Kara and Ruthie witnessing the bigotry and evil found across the galaxy and feeling a little overwhelmed by it all. I believe that Kara's line, "He sees the good in everyone and I see the truth," transcends the relationships between the two cousins and becomes a reflection of the audience. When Superman 2025 came out, everyone was filled with hope core and the idea that everything will work out if we just choose to be the best versions of ourselves. I think Supergirl will hold a mirror up to the audience, not exactly telling us that we're all awful people, but that sometimes life is hard. It's hard to always make the right choices, and it's hard not to feel overwhelmed in the face of injustice. But it's not impossible to stand up against it. Those are the top 5 things that I'm hoping to see in the Supergirl movie, some moments with hype moments and aura, and other moments with themes and such. But I'd love to hear what you're excited about in the comments. Thanks again for making it to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.